That is really fair, considering this movie we watched.
Oh, oh, oh,
This is something.
So, I mean, okay. Let's Chuck, you want to do your intro so we can get into it?
brothers, sisters, gender resistors. Look, first and foremost, if you're watching on YouTube,
Nice
check the shirt,
shirt,
baby.
buddy.
Check
Hell
the
yeah.
fucking shirt, boys. This, let me tell you, head over to our TeePublic. Check the show notes down below. This is a pristine, extra soft XL. I'm looking fucking juicy, my guys, in this beautiful art done by Ron for an episode that hasn't even aired yet. I'm very excited.
This coming week, right?
It will be this month. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
I think so.
I think
Regardless,
it's May. Yeah,
go
it's
check it
coming
out
soon.
And if you are an audio forward listener, fucking suck it. Just go to the website and just figure out what shirt I wore, buy them all, buy two, and give one to a friend.
There you go.
Let me first start off by saying I just worked a 16-hour day. It is a Sunday. And my brain is absolute mush. I did watch Barb Wire intermittently throughout the week, and then had to rewatch it at the last moment of my 48 hours because I did pay to rent this.
Same. Agreed. Same.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. And then rewatched it because I kind of, on my first watch, I said, wow, this is not great. But I know a lot of the backstory of this, and that Pam Anderson thought this was really going to be it for her. Like, this was the thing that was going to rocket her into, like, the stratosphere of fame.
She, according to IMDb, she had already signed on to do a movie called Hello, She Lied. Like, she had put in all the work. She was dead set on that. But then decided to leave that one in particular because there was a sex scene that she didn't want to do. And I think really it was just, I didn't think she was going to have a good, I don't know about that movie, whatever, but I'm pretty sure she wasn't going to be the lead or wasn't going to be like in her favor. So she left that to come to this.
Yeah.
And she got a terrible script.
Was it terrible
I
script
think
or is it because she can't act?
But that's the thing, though. She can't.
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna. Okay, go ahead, Chuck.
No, I'm just saying, like, first and foremost, I am a Pam Anderson apologist. I've watched enough documentaries about, like, her life to understand that, like, she actually can act and is really good. And I think this movie is a failure of direction and script writing, and that they made a lot of promises to her of what this movie was going to be, and they then turned it into a fucking tits and ass movie. I will make the most egregious statement
because she definitely.
I mean, I think you. Well, I think you could have done sex stuff here. Yeah, I think you could have made this sexy, but cleaned up a lot of the dialogue.
And again, the dialogue, the script is the problem. Like, for example, she actually insisted on that opening scene. She's the one that came up with that idea for the opening scene of her in that leather rubber suit, whatever it was, doing the dance, because she had a nightmare where how she say it? It was she was being sprayed with champagne while performing a nasty dance. I don't know why that's a nightmare, but apparently she had a nightmare to do with that. So
sticky.
Oh, that's fair. So the director, like, I guess he was under pressure to add more nudity in this movie, which all the nudity we got was literally just Pam Anderson.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I'll throw out my original plan for the opening and throw that in there. She also insisted on the bubble bath scene as well. So, like, not saying it's a bad thing, but she was helping facilitate a lot of that nudity.
The people she was catering to for this movie.
Yeah. I'm not saying that she was unaware. I'm just saying that they portray this movie as the thing that's going to sell it is that Pam Anderson is hot and you get to see her.
And
Okay, let's start there.
This is fresh off of Baywatch, right? Or is it like in middle?
In the
This is
middle
during Baywatch, yeah.
Yeah, because she gets
toward the
VIP after this.
It's toward the end of Baywatch because this came out in '96. Baywatch ended in '97. So so still kind of in the middle. Like her popularity is high. You know, I mean, she was Home Improvement for those first 2 years. So like, you know,
I'm still, where did she act well?
She does a great job in Baywatch. Like she is a legitimately I'm not saying she's the greatest actor and she should like receive like Academy Awards, but she's better than whatever the direction was that they wanted her in this movie. There was clearly no direction on how to do the acting because it's not just her. It's everybody in this movie is objectively bad at acting, and nobody gave a shit.
I won't disagree with you on that because you have so many characters that are not the same character, like without any kind of character growth or anything. They just completely flip the script on what the character is.
Yeah.
Her good acting roles was the couple episodes in Futurama, the little bit of Scooby-Doo, that little bit in Scary Movie 3. No, like I've heard like her latest one, The Last Showgirl. I heard it was tremendous. Like she did a wonderful job. That one came out last year.
The Last Show.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with The Last Shogun. That's a different movie.
Isn't that like some actor they whitewashed like The Last Sam? No, that's The Last Samurai.
That's The Last Samurai.
Yeah.
I forget what The Last Shogun is.
Yeah, because all I'm thinking of is Shogun over on Hulu.
No, there's like a really old movie called The Last Shogun.
Are you sure it wasn't called The Last Dragon?
No, it's called The Last Shogun. I just heard about it not that long ago. Or am I thinking Seven? Maybe I'm thinking Seven Samurai. Anyway, go ahead.
I will say this though, like while Pam Anderson did not have a great script, she was a very one note in this movie, and it probably goes to what you're saying, Chuck. Like they wanted her to be this because her character is like this bar owner that moonlights as a bounty hunter.
But before that, she was in the military.
Yeah.
Right. Please, like, let us all know this is a terrible story.
Yeah, terrible movie.
But we did get a narrated script scroll again. So
yes,
you know, Chuck was
I did score an extra 10th of a point. I will say this though, like, I think this will be my most egregious statement, which is this movie had a lot of potential to be something really good.
Yes.
I will say that I paid attention the second time I watched it, not as distracted, and I was like, man, this is almost a good movie. I don't understand where
apparently people are comparing this, like the script and what they wanted to do or what the potential was to Casablanca, which I'm like, what? I don't know if I go that far, but
that's the most insane statement I've ever heard. This felt like Tank Girl, just not as good acting.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Because
the fact we just saw Tank Girl not that long ago, it's like, wow, yeah, I guess this was the vibe of the era of doing these like post-apocalyptic kind of goofy movies.
I do want to say post-apocalyptic 2017.
I mean, were they wrong though? What happened in 2016?
They were off by 7 years.
No.
8 years. Sorry, my bad.
2016, 2017 was the beginning of the end.
No, what they're saying is that they were in the middle of a civil war in 2017, and
they were off by
we're not in the middle of war yet.
One person's election run.
No, we're in that now.
To be fair, 2016, those Nazis walked in Charlottesville, so like that was pretty close.
I thought that was 18.
Oh, that was like right at the beginning of his. Wasn't that 16? I don't know.
I
It
thought so.
feels
I thought
like
it was 16 too.
Was
Yeah.
it the end
it was
of
like
Obama's?
no, it was right at the beginning of his.
So
Uh,
Well, that's 17
2017.
then, because they
oh,
the
17.
election was
Okay,
16.
right, yeah. It
Okay.
was like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know that whole
that's crazy.
first term was just shit.
Speaking of good guys on both sides, this is I like this. I had no segue there.
Really?
Actually, yeah. Uh, yeah. So
Sorry,
explain to
Chris.
me.
That one was not for you.
No, that one was for you, Chris. I'm trying to think. What exactly is the plot to this movie?
The plot
'Cause
of this movie is
I got lost in the sauce pretty
okay. So
like a lot.
there's a doctor who has the cure to AIDS.
Okay.
Was that what I definitely did not hear what she was
Yeah.
working on?
She has the cure to AIDS, but the whatever government's running whatever part of the country doesn't want it to get out, because if she gets to Canada, oh my God, I just realized something. South Park was right. This is where they got the idea for it from. That's why Canada can cure AIDS.
Oh,
But
I
anyway,
mean, when you said South Park was right, I'm like, they have a tendency to be right about a lot of things.
but so she's trying to get to Canada and she needs this special pair of lenses because they can scan everybody's eyes and know exactly who that person is, no matter what name they're using. And
well, yeah, because you can't, because eyes are you can change.
your eyes don't lie.
Yeah, or something like that. You can change your face, but the eyes are the same, or something.
But the funny thing about it is, scanning those lenses didn't give a fake name or a fake ID or anything. It just said that this person was unscannable, which automatically makes you a target.
Not even unscannable. It said this person is cleared, basically saying there's nothing out there on this person. And yeah, you're right. They didn't give a name at all. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, I don't know if you guys figured it out immediately, but I definitely figured it out immediately when she's like, the lenses are in a safe place. It's like, yeah, you're wearing them.
Yeah.
But what really got me is the fact that when the doctor put them on, her eyes immediately turned blue. And I went back and looked, and Barb's eyes were not blue at all. So, little continuity problem.
So what happened was when she wore them, they didn't interact with her eyes in the same way as they interacted with the doctor's eyes.
Oh, they weren't activated?
They had to be activated. You have to lick them and touch them and
okay. That sounds wrong.
Or right.
So why did everybody want the lenses? Because the whole point is that she's trying to get to Canada, and everybody's hunting her.
Like $2 million or something, which apparently back then was a lot of money.
Yeah, it's just basically they want it for the black, because that's the easy way to go kill somebody and then get away with it,
or to escape the country.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did not get any of that from this movie, and I watched this movie twice.
I only got it from this because I had the subtitles on.
I watch every movie with subtitles.
Same.
It's mainly for names,
mine's for names, and mine's for sometimes when people say things I don't hear what
you can't understand them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's a double-edged sword, because you can definitely hear when somebody's whispering, and you can actually see what they're saying half the time. Sometimes you can hear what they're saying, and it's supposed to be not shown. I remember, what was I watch? She-Hulk, when it first aired. They gave away who Kevin was, because instead of saying Kevin, Kevin, with the dots, like it was an android, spoiler alert for a show that's 2 years old, 3 years old, they were implying that it was Kevin Feige, when in reality it was a robot named Kevin. So, yeah. They did change it, though. After that first day, they switched the subtitles to just say Kevin normally, so that it wouldn't give it away. Anyway.
Right.
Huh.
So,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Watch She-Hulk, man. She-Hulk is great.
Oh, She-Hulk.
The very end of She-Hulk.
I did not. I tapped out by then.
Man,
I
She-Hulk
love
was-
She-Hulk too.
I thought
It's
it was
a great,
good.
it's a great
I
show.
liked it.
Dude, there was a couple characters in there that I didn't. One I forgot because when I watched it originally, like they had Man-Bull in there, a random Daredevil villain.
That
This
was
is
cool.
wonderful. It was great. Anyway,
Mm.
sorry. Continue.
I'll go
Um,
back.
So we had
Worth it.
some characters from other movies in this.
Lots.
We had the guy that played Curly was also Damaskino in Blade, like the main vampire.
Yeah.
Well, the main.
Tiny. Oh, not Curly. Sorry. I was thinking Tiny Lister was.
Oh,
in
no.
this, but
Curly, and then we had Boba Fett or Jango Fett, depending on which
or both.
or both. I mean, yeah. Obviously, who was also in the Star Wars movies.
Mhm.
We had the ponytail dude that's always got the Q, the big guy, goofy guy that was in the mask. He was
Yeah.
in Fist of the North Star. He was in Darkman, I think. The second one?
I don't know if it was Dark. I don't remember if it was Darkman.
Or was
Yeah.
it the Shadow?
He was in the Shadow.
Yeah.
Niles, what's his name? Niles Stewart.
But he
great.
is just
like I looked up his IMDb. Okay, we're gonna get him at least one more time.
Well, he is the quintessential '90s big thug dude.
He is.
Oh, he was also in
Mask. He was in the
Double
Mask.
Dragon.
Double
I
Dragon.
already said the Mask. Yeah.
Whatever. So while I was looking at his IMDb, I came across a movie called from 2014. Turns out he's actually he acts from time to time, but he's really like a stunt coordinator, and he does a crap ton of stunts. Which I mean, he's a big
Interesting.
guy. It's pretty awesome. But he's in a movie called Bigfoot versus DB Cooper, and he plays Bigfoot. I watched the trailer, and it looks terrible as all get out. Bigfoot looks like literally just a gorilla costume from a party store, but
Sweet.
I mean, I kind of want to watch it. It's only got like
That's
a
nice.
1.6 stars on IMDb, but like, I
Sounds
kinda wanna
good.
watch it.
Sounds fantastic.
It's on Tubi.
And then
Go ahead.
we also got the creepy dude from the bike in the Fist of the North Star.
Clay Howard, yeah.
Yeah, he was the
Schmitz
Booker.
was his name. He was the bail bondsman.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Ron Howard's ugly brother came back. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the
one
thing. Is
thing
I'll never remember his name. I just always remember him as Ron Howard's ugly brother. But you see him come on screen, and he's just like, oh, I know that guy.
You know
That's
the-
Ron
yeah.
Howard's ugly brother. He's so ugly.
I mean, I remember him from Solo when L3 is fighting with him about robots fighting in the cage, and he's just like, he's never had it so good. Just the way he said it just stuck with me.
Is it because he's ugly?
No, it's just the way he said it.
Oh, okay.
It's the accent he gave.
And then I know that we haven't watched either of those movies for the podcast, but I couldn't figure out who the hell Willis was. And then I realized, have you ever seen Shanghai Noon?
Yes.
Dude. Okay,
He's like the like sheriff or whatever, the at the end of the movie that's shooting against Owen Wilson.
Here's the thing. We saw him in Terminator 2. He was the stepdad. We saw him.
Yeah.
Chuck and I watched him in Candyman.
He's
He
also
was-
in Walking Dead.
Candyman's husband. He was in another movie. I can't remember that we have watched. I want to say another Cameron movie, but I could be wrong. Yeah, there is a lot. I'm gonna get that list made. I've got a week off coming up at the time of recording, and I'm gonna get that list made because we've had a lot of. We're starting to see a lot of the same actors and actresses, So, and the list will include the stuff we've done for getting franchised, because
It's on the show.
it's on the show. But again, I know we're going to get to some here soon. Like when we get to the MCU, like obviously Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in like 8 movies. Chris Evans alone is going to be in like 10. because he'll have all the MCU, but he's also got a ton of other comic book movie works.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim, The Losers, Fantastic Four. We've already had. Actually, we still haven't got to those yet, but
we're getting close.
I mean, once I add them back into the list, once we get back to that,
once we get into the 2000s with this,
which we're getting there. We're not too far off. But I did so. Just looking at my notes here real quick. They I know we're jumping around in the movie, but that's fine. Toward the end, when they have to stop by the toll road to basically give Big Fatso the lenses.
Big Fatso, that was his name. I was like, I swear they call him something mean. I was like, Fatty Magoo? King Fatty? I knew it was something like that.
Which we saw him in Fist of the North Star.
Yeah,
he was also we had 3 people from there in this movie.
That's wild.
They probably shot it on the same day. Like, honestly, like
just across the street.
Yeah, they probably was like, hey, you guys want to like just double up real quick?
But so they get there. Obviously, things go sideways. They got double crossed, and as they are leaving, they go to the second toll, and I noticed that these guys spelled toll wrong. They put TOLE instead of TOLL on the sign. And I'm just like, were these guys, brought up in private schools? Because definitely didn't learn how to spell. But what really got me, so in that scene, they're doing the chase.
Didn't you go to a private school, Joey?
Well, look, I'm trying to reach out. I need help, Ron. But so they're giving chase, like they're in this giant like FedEx truck that they retrofitted to be this I don't know, war
tank sort of thing,
but
like
not
an
really,
armored car,
because they've got a battering ram of sorts in the front, and yet when they crash into a dumpster, they flip over. Now, either one of 2 things would actually happen. One, as fast as they were going, that dumpster actually would move. Like they would probably damage the vehicle, but the dumpster would move out of the way. They wouldn't go flipping over it. Or 2, Dr. D is dead or Carol D is dead because that dumpster just shoved the front of that van into her. So that one kind of sucked.
That's fair.
Because literally, as soon as the what's it, Pryor, whatever the heck his name was, chasing after them, that dumpster was gone, and they rammed into that the van, and not the dumpster. So it's like that, and that really what bugged me is the inconsistency in some of these scenes where you're playing, and I noticed it early on, when Axel and Carol show up at Hammerhead, the bar, and they're talking with Barb Wire. She is kind of going off on him, and he wanders off, goes back up to the top level, meets back up with Carol, and they look down to see the police force. I can't remember what they're called, sitting at the table, and Barb is standing next to the table, but when she looks at them, they're across the room, and then the scene cuts back from the table's angle, looking at Barb with the high rise behind them without Axel and Cora. But then as soon as the guys stand up, Barb is immediately right there, and then those 2 are standing where they were originally. It's just like, you guys couldn't edit this better? Like, you couldn't actually pay attention?
No, they couldn't.
No, this movie was clearly made by people who don't get paid by the hour.
No, and
they were chopping the shit,
and they just don't give a shit about at the very beginning of the movie, when she's getting chased out of the first job that she's doing, where she's going to get that little girl,
Oh yeah.
So she goes out the window with the girl on her little Batman drop down thing, right? And
the grappling hook.
Yeah. I couldn't think of what it was called. Thank you, Chuck. And the battling hook. But
Anyway,
they get chased by this guy, and he starts shooting at them from in the window. Right? He has a silencer on his gun, but it makes full loud gun noises.
I did not notice that.
I had to rewind. Well, I had to rewind because when she was chasing her through the thing, I was like, I thought his gun had a silencer on it, but when he was shooting at her, it was like pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
So we went back, and yeah, it's got a silencer on it, but as soon as he gets out the window, it's just a regular gun.
Yeah. One thing I also noticed was when she goes to get that Dr. Kurtz or whatever for that job, and she blows up. She blew up the wall to go grab him, and then she has a shootout with those two guys. There was a moment where she's behind the table shooting through the hole in the wall, and the guy himself on the other side is behind the TV shooting, and then she's still shooting back. They go back and forth, and then like she has to reload, and he gets up from behind the TV, which is another like 5 feet away from the hole, like to the left of the hole. So then he has to like move around and go like, so what the hell are you shooting at?
They were not shooting at anything.
There was another moment, but here, yeah.
Because even when she's shooting,
because
like, at him around the table, she's just like doing this.
Yes. But there's also a moment where she jumps through the wall when they first show up, and they're just unloading into dead air. They're not moving forward to follow her through the hole. They're just shooting at nothing. And then on top of that, there's multiple times, this scene in particular and another scene later, where actually scene coming before that, where with the car, with Axel and Cora in the car with two guys, like the two groups on either side, where people are shooting from both sides, and nobody, like they didn't see that those two snuck out of the car, which is just like, what the, you literally have people behind you to pay attention. I mean that, but then also in the scene in the hotel with Kurtz, like they're opening fire randomly, and he didn't get shot at all. He's laying on the bed. How could he not have gotten shot? Anyway.
So her being called Babe reminded me of Lola Bunny being called Doll.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, same vibe.
Yeah.
Was this before or after?
96, 93, or when was Space Jam?
No, Space Jam was 90. Wait, 97.
Nope, Space Jam was also 96.
Was it really? Wow.
Let me check. It was come on, where's the date on this one?
November 15th, 1996.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah,
this one,
you know, just talking down to women in general, it could just be a universal trope for women in movies. Like that, you know, that could also be the thing. Also, kind of crazy that it's Lola Bunny and Pamela Anderson in Barb Wire are the two that are going to break the normal trope of the 90s for women in movies.
gotta try, yeah. And I'm sure there was probably more. I'm sure there probably was other movies that tried to do it. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but
yeah, it's just weird.
So I don't know why I wrote this on here, but I wrote it in really big letters. So I'm assuming somebody walked out of one of the bathrooms without washing their hands. But wash your fucking hands. That is so disgusting.
You sure it wasn't the no, it was, so I think it was the guy that she went back to the hotel room with that came out of the bathroom in the spandex.
That's
she
right.
Asked him
yes.
if he washed his hands. He's like, no, I'm a bad boy.
That's right. Wash your fucking hands, you nasty fuck.
Yeah, like he was a bad boy.
The Gimp?
Yeah.
Okay, so funniest thing, when we were watching that, I was like, watch, he's gonna walk out in like a gimp suit or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, dude, sure enough.
Yep.
So was she just a dom, or was she actually like a prostitute?
No, she was using him to get into the building.
Yeah.
No, I know, but like
I don't think she was.
They they kept referring to the fact that this isn't the first time that she's like doing what she's got to do or whatever.
I think that's picking up bounties and stuff. I don't think that's trying to sleep with people.
Oh,
Like she would stop before anything sexual would happen,
Well, that and
so that she could do her job.
Yeah,
that's
she
not
was-
entirely true because she bangs the guy who shows up for no reason when she's taking a bath with his wife.
Well, she makes out with him, but
She
they had a
was
previous
naked.
relationship. They had a previous relationship that he fucked her over in Seattle,
So naturally, you just start making out with her.
which is well. He also didn't know. She didn't know that he was married again. Or
Yeah,
remarried
but
or
he knew
whatever.
he was married.
That is true. That
Yeah.
is very true.
And
But
believe it or not, when you're getting
technically,
kissed
they were
before-
not in love married. They were married for like legal reasons or
They said
something.
originally it was they were married for their cover, but that they ended up falling for each other, and that's why they were,
Oh,
I do want to point out though that the tragic backstory, because we get a thing from Charlie about Axel, how Barb is still pissed off at him for Seattle, and the tragic backstory is
he didn't
he
show up.
ghosted her.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, okay, they were supposed to.
hey,
meet
sometimes that really fucking hurts, Joe. Okay, sometimes we get ghosted when all we're trying to do is be loving and supportive people for no goddamn reason. Joe,
sorry.
Hey, Joe,
Some
do me
of
a
us-
favor, real quick. Lean over on your other elbow. Too far down, but down a little bit lower onto the elbow. Put your hand down.
put your hand up.
There
Yeah,
you go.
there you go.
You happy?
Yeah.
There we
Hold
go.
on. Let me
I just
get
want to
the-
see Joey with big hard
Let me
tits.
get the chin in there. I can't
There you
do
go.
mirrors.
That's
There we
perfect.
go.
There you go.
There you go. Happy? Are you happy now?
There we go. All I wanted to see was Joey with big.
All right.
huge, hard
That's
tits.
a YouTube. Go to YouTube about 31 minutes. Go see that guy. Sorry.
So these guys are obviously supposed to be Nazis, right?
Oh, 100%.
So
Yeah,
did they
yeah, very
know-
clearly Nazis.
Did they know about our current presidential regime way back in 1996?
I mean,
I mean, I know that Trump
dipshit
said that
Orange
he-
Man has been trying to
Well-
be in politics since like the early 90s.
But I mean, I know that Trump said that he rigged they rigged the election for him so he would win. Like he said that on camera.
Yeah.
But I just didn't realize it went that far back.
Well, people in power will stay in power any way they can. So yeah, it tracks.
Yeah, it's almost like this isn't like new. Like it's it's weird, Chris.
Yeah, it's almost like history
Anyway.
repeats itself because it gets erased. And
Yeah. Weird how that
anyway.
works.
So Charlie is a big dumbass.
I mean, he's blind and
He
drunk.
is exactly. He is blind, and he walks into the resistance camp, bellowing out for their leader. Like he doesn't have a
But he
fucking
was friends
password
with
or-
them.
Exactly. So he would have known, like, hey, I'm here to pet the dog, or like, hey, have you guys seen my lost seeing eye dog Spike, or something like that?
Mm.
Like,
I did find it funny when they tried to scan him at the
Yeah.
bar.
when he
And
had
Willis
like,
is
no
like,
eyes.
he's blind, you dumbass.
Well, and like he didn't have like his eyes were completely cataract. Like it wasn't even like like a normal blind person where they still have their like
Yeah.
the build of their eyes. His eyes were like completely white. Like
Yeah, whatever bomb he said happened. I don't remember.
I think it was a grenade, some kind of grenade.
Either way.
Speaking of grenade, when Big Fatso dies, might have been
Yes.
the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my
Did
time.
they
Yes.
use the footage from the whale getting blown up on the beach for that?
I am almost sure it is the same fucking footage. Or they recreate like
Trump's
maybe
like
that's where the
popping up
budget
in
to
the
this movie went, was recreating that explosion. But that was the most egregious explosion of a human being I'd ever seen.
I just loved his face because the grenade gets thrown up in the air, which whatever, but lands on his stomach, and you could tell that it was like a fake stomach because it like bounced. But he's just like, oh,
Well,
and then it blows up.
but it like doesn't bounce. It like sticks
It
to him.
flops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it almost like he absorbs it like the blob and then explodes. And not
That's-
just explodes. Like he splits 20 feet into the air. Like it's the stupid, and yet nobody is rained down on with like disgusting big
That's fair.
fatso.
That's very fair.
That's what I was saying. Like, what happened to all the pieces of like blubber and stuff that should have just been raining down from the sky?
It got incinerated, I guess. No, it's great. I laughed my ass off when that happened.
It was fucking hilarious. So the dog, Camilla. That's a
Whatever.
really well trained dog.
Yeah. Yeah, she was awesome.
Could you
Really
imagine?
happy to see she survived.
Could you imagine just saying package check to your dog and she goes and bites somebody on the dick?
And what was up with the guy just coming in there and demanding, this is the only free city left. You know what this bar, with the bouncer that they have out front normally on a normal night, you know what type of bar this is. You're not just going to run in there and demand things. So there was plenty of scenes in this movie that just didn't need to be there. The scene of her driving the motorcycle down the road, she stops, revs it for a second, and then continues driving. Why? Other than to show the place is terrible, but
motorcycle gotta go vroom. Okay.
I don't like that.
If I remember correctly, is it Mitsubishi that makes motorcycles? Suzuki makes motorcycles.
Yeah,
That whenever Suzuki has motorcycles in movies, they have to rev the engine because Suzuki has the sound of of a revving engine copywritten specifically for them. And so you have to rev the engine if you're going to use a Suzuki so people know it's a Suzuki.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
So you know what else is interesting? What happened to that car that she got at the beginning of the movie?
She probably sold it for money so she can pay off people. Because we don't see it again, but it also seemed like she was kind of in financial straits with that bar,
which is wild. It was
the most popular place to be, and
the only bar in town, and yet she didn't have any money.
Although, if you saw that kitchen, I can see why she has no money. All that food that was just left out. Man, that kitchen was a mess.
Oh yeah, no, that was almost offensive to me specifically. Dude, the fact that they just had shit lying around, nobody's fucking putting it away, nothing's goddamn wrapped.
I worked at a pizza place for 7 years or something, and end of the night we had to make sure things were put away, dishes were clean, everything was spotless for the next day.
Yeah, you fucking reset for the next day, I would have been.
There was a pot of beans or something sitting on there by the sink. What is this? Also, did she was watching Smits walk out? And she just watched him walk into the kitchen? The hell are you doing? You're doing a terrible job.
Maybe he normally uses the back door.
He came in the front door.
Yeah, did he?
I don't know. Also, I feel bad for Curly because the cops come in, destroy the whole bar.
And then she's like, by the way, the bar's yours.
Yeah, it's all yours now. I'm leaving. What the hell? Anyway.
Yeah.
What else do I got? Oh yeah, I have the far future of 2017. I know we already talked about that.
I did laugh at that. I started watching this when I was downstairs, and I laughed and I told my mom. She goes, "Oh wow, that's interesting."
Yeah,
and
considering this came out,
I had to explain to her the rest of the movie, and I was like, "Yeah, I think we're done talking."
Considering this came out in 1996, the 80s and 90s, for whatever reason, their future that they predict is never 100 years.
To be fair, we all thought that Y2K was going to be the end,
especially in the 90s. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know. So for example, with Back to the Future, they only set that 30 years in the future, mainly because it's following
their time, their life.
specific storyline. Yes.
Yeah.
But their obviously prediction of 2015 and the way it was going to be from 1985.
But you have to
could have been
remember,
possible.
this was right when Reaganomics started. Okay.
Yeah, and everything went.
So at that point
shit.
in time, prior to that, when they wrote this movie, it probably could have happened. If we didn't have the fucking trickle down economy, we would have had way more inventive shit.
We would have had flying cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We would have ran on the
mean that you can't control people, so obviously,
why we don't have fucking universal healthcare right now.
Yeah, of course not.
People
that have to work their asses off just to keep themselves alive to barely make it are going to continue to work themselves to death, and then when they die, you can just take their stuff. So
yeah, you are not wrong in that. All right, so I've got
thoughts and prayers to Chris.
Chris, you get a lot of shout outs today.
So
I've got.
I'm secretly in love with you, Chris. Just accept it. It's fine.
I learned your name. It's one of those.
It's
things.
true. You're the only person he knows the name of that watches the show. So.
It's true. When I learned Joe and Ron's name, I constantly brought them up on a Late 8 Show.
That is true.
That's actually really accurate.
Yeah. That's how you remember people's names. You say them every episode.
Yeah, I just have to work them into storylines. It works out really well.
So I got something I found on IMDb that I found hilarious. So according to the crew of Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie, Gramercy Pictures and Universal decided to scale back on that movie's intended wide release and redirect their resources into heavily promoting this one, resulting in disappointing theatrical grosses for both films. Some resentment toward Gramercy and specifically this movie would turn up as jokes in later seasons of Mystery Science Theater 3000. When once asked at a 1996 convention if there was ever going to be a special edition Laserdisc of MST3K, the movie, Michael J. Nelson quipped that he didn't know, but you could find 35mm prints of Barbed Wire in the dumpster behind Gramercy Pictures.
That's fun.
Also, last little note from IMDb is that the original comic book, that was going on at the time, ended its run shortly after the film's disappointing reception. This film killed a comic book.
Did it, or was the comic book just that bad?
I don't know. I never read the comic.
Me neither. And this movie made me not want to. So
this film killed the comic.
I am kind of curious to see if because there's a part of me that thinks that either this movie should have done one or two things. They should have cleaned up some of the dialogue and had people act just a little bit harder, and they could have had a more serious tone to the movie, or they should have just 100% leaned into the campiness of it, and made a Tank Girl. Yeah,
I agree.
So I'm curious what the comic did. If the comic is super edgy, you know what I mean? That 90s edgy, we're taking this way too seriously.
And it's Dark Horse. You got to remember that. So Dark Horse,
then it absolutely is. Yeah. Oh,
especially in the 90s.
That's going to be awful.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, no. I do still want to see if I can find it.
Yeah, I do want to read maybe the first arc, just to kind of see, But I don't think Hoopla has it at the moment, so...
I'm only a physical media guy, so...
I mean, you've seen my shit. Of course, I am too, but...
Yeah, but you don't actually read any of it.
I read all of it. I've read...
Speaking of...
85% of what I have.
We went to C2E2 yesterday.
Time recording.
At the time of recording yesterday. And the first... when we walked in there, the first thing that was in front of us were all the new authors and up and coming authors and stuff with all their books out there, right? So I spent most of my money right there at the beginning, and I bought 10 books that I carried around with me for the rest of the fucking day.
You always got to bring an extra empty sack.
Well, I had my backpack, but it was just all books. And
the problem is normally because we go to conventions at Indy, our hotel is either close by or the car is close by. We took a train in, so can't really just put stuff on the train.
Yeah, you fucked up, bud.
No,
Yeah.
train was great.
No, I fucked up in
No,
buying the books
Ron
first.
fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't
But
have been there later.
I also
will
have a whole
say,
stack of to read books now. So
I did get the complete Case Files #1 of Judge Dredd.
Oh, nice.
Which wow, this stuff is wild from that back in the day. And I decided that I would try to find Case Files 2. Apparently Complete Case Files 2, which is the most popular like arc book, is really hard, is out of print and hard to find because I can't find it for anything less than $100.
ooh.
Yeah.
How much was it normally? How much was it originally?
I'm gonna assume 25 because this one was 25.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So my last note I got. So at the very end, we get the lead Preiter, or what the heck his name was, going crazy after Barb shot him, and he hops on her forklift and pins her to her bike, and then picks up a car. And then, while all that's happening, we have Axel, who gets on the crane and picks up the forklift, and now it's a balancing act between all that while Barb is kind of sort of fighting what's his nuts on the forklifting car, with Axel fighting some other random guy on top of the crane. And I'm just wondering, there's no way that the forklift and car were balanced, right? Like, especially when those two are running on top of each and their weight is distributing like
now
one way or the other.
That I would say that would throw it off. But the forklift and the car might actually be fairly balanced depending on what kind of forklift it was. Because some of those weigh, enough to counterbalance 4 tons of stuff on the front of it. Or, 4,000 pounds of stuff, 2 tons on the front of it. So
it was her car, right?
No, it was just some random car.
Oh, well, then it is a post-apocalyptic car, so it's been scrapped already. They took all the useful things out of it.
But it would have been a car from the 80s because this movie was made in the 90s.
So it was.
So it would have been a steel, solid steel frame, and
Oh, that's a good point. That's good. Yeah. Speaking of, I was driving home today, and I drove past 4 young college girls driving a fucking Buick.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like an old person car.
Was it like the boxy?
Was it an old? Yeah, was it like a 90s?
Yeah,
Buick?
yeah.
Okay.
I would say early.
They probably got it for $300, dude.
Yeah, probably early to mid 2000s. It was a little beat up and stuff, but I just found it interesting because it's I don't think I've ever seen anybody but old white guys drive Buicks. But those things are built like fucking tanks.
Yeah. That's back when that's back when people actually cared about what they made. In the 80s.
Yeah,
maybe
it's just
early 90s.
Wild. I forget that Buicks are actually still built to last, and you don't have to take the engine out to fix anything in it, which is always a thing I always hear.
No, now it's just to change a freaking light, my headlight, I have to take out the covering, the battery, the windshield wiper reservoir, fucking stupid. Or I gotta go through the wheel well of my truck just to reach the light for some damn reason. So stupid.
Love that for you.
Yeah. Well, I got rid of that truck, so I'm good now.
Oh,
I gotta pay so much more money because my 2025, Chevy Eclipse or Equinox is special order for everything.
Man, and let me tell you what, this thing is fancy as fuck. He's got 2 computer monitors mounted to his into the dash of his car. It's pretty fancy.
By the way, I forgot to tell you. I had a chance to tell you. Once I dropped you off, that I was leaving. So between Goshen and Scott, no, not Scott, State.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Going down St. Mary's. So it's quarter after midnight. I'm driving, and some dipshit blew through a stop sign, the one stop sign on that road. And if I had not hit the brakes, I would have hit them, or they would have hit me. If I had been a couple seconds earlier, they definitely would have plowed into me. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
No, that's normal for around midnight around my house. Like,
That's
dude,
crazy.
no, you'll hear people like peeling out through the because I've got that roundabout right there by my house. You'll hear people peeling out in that all the time, or flying down my road and then just blowing right through the stop sign over here. Like, I've thought about getting like,
especially that one makes no sense. That's a high traffic area.
Yeah, I've thought about doing like the you put a block on a string, and when they hit the string, it takes the rock and throws it into the back of their car. But,
I mean,
just because it'd be funny. Because if you're not going fast, it won't do it.
Parody
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Anyway,
allegedly.
Oh, hey, Chuck. Speaking of C2E2, though, I saw Rikishi and Jerry Lawler there.
Oh shit, Rikishi?
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
slim,
fuck
dude.
Too? Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight. His ass is not nearly as big.
No, he probably lost like 200 pounds, man. It was wild.
Yeah.
And Jerry King's probably lost like half of his brain capacity. But
wow. Listen,
Lawler,
Lawler's old and not the best human being, but I am a sucker for like fucking Mid-South. So
I mean, dude,
like,
that's some nostalgia right there, dude.
Yeah, he's the fucking king of wrestling, man. Like, oh yeah. I wish he wasn't.
He was
a hard
the
Trump
horny
supporter.
voice of wrestling while I was growing up. So
he was the horniest voice. That is for sure. Yep. Yeah.
Him, and then you have JR, who was his like normal, like mellow,
By God.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Oh my God. He's walking. He's talking. That's oh God. One of my favorite feuds ever is when Jerry Lawler went to ECW and feuded with Tommy Dreamer. It's like one of my favorite feuds ever. So highly recommend people looking that up.
Sorry, I have no more notes on this movie, and
he's actually like a really good cartoonist too.
Who is?
Jerry Lawler. He's like a really good like illustrator.
Really?
Yeah, that was like his other like. I don't know if he still draws, but
I thought he was dead.
No, he's alive.
JR?
He's had like 2 heart attacks, but he's still alive.
Oh, damn. See, for some reason I thought he was dead.
No, he's still alive. Yeah. Pretty fucking sweet.
Huh. That's wild.
I actually just watched an episode where Rikishi takes a giant shit and Booker T is like, yo, man, why does it fucking smell? And he's like, oh, because I'm just taking a massive shit. In gear, which is like a cardinal sin. You don't take a shit in gear. Also implied that he did not wipe, nor took his like gear down to take a shit. And then goes, Booker T's like, yo, like, here's some like deodorant and stuff. By the way, who you got tonight? And Rikishi's like, oh, I'm wrestling you, Booker T. And implies that he did not wipe, and then slaps his own ass and farts, and then they go. And one of the greatest bulging eyes right before Rikishi gives him a stink face, which if you don't know what the stink face is when he has hit you in the corner and you're sitting on the ground, and then he proceeds to pull his tights up into his ass into a thong, and then shove his giant ass in your face. Just, I mean, bug-eyed and then just deep into his face. It was wild. Yeah, lost a tooth.
That's why in the late 90s, early aughts, there were so many pink eye problems in the WWF.
That makes sense. Yeah, between that and Mae Young doing a Bronco Buster.
Oh shit.
She purposely stuck sardines in there and then proceeded to do a Bronco Buster to make it stick. Yeah, it's fucking shout out to Mae Young. Oh fuck. Anyway, that's all the notes I got.
I got no notes. We did get another ragdoll when the forklift fell down. That was all.
Did we get a Wilhelm scream in this at all?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Like, they had some weird screams, but I don't think any of them were Wilhelm.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure.
Usually, for whatever reason, I can almost always pick it out.
Yeah.
Maybe because we've heard it so many times, but which is is why it's on our bingo. But which I think we need to, I don't know, add stuff to the bingo. We'll talk off mic. Figure something out. But yeah, so my notes are done. Kill count, I've got a total of 25.
For a post-apocalyptic world ruled by Nazis, it's not that many.
Yeah, so I was thinking, any lost limbs?
No lost limbs. I was going to count. I should have counted the other 13 dead resistance people, like when they come the second time. Or when it was Axel and Cora show up the second time and everybody's dead. Yeah. I didn't, but if I did, it'd be like 38. Thank you.
That's fair.
So yeah. Speaking of bingo.
Yeah, so all right. Excuse me. We had government interference, comic logic, responsibility thing, ID reveal to an enemy, origin flashback, animal cruelty, villain monologue, unexplainable science, reformed bad guy, because I kind of
Willis at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Hero kills, nudity, sexual innuendo, misogyny, fight for control of something, meme origins, actor plays self, and betrayal by friend.
Your product placement on that?
No, did I miss something?
I mean, all the liquor.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. I always forget that liquor counts as that because it's just like there.
It's a product.
Yeah,
so I know. The whole point of product placement is if it's a product that is in the real world and we see it.
True, but I don't think about booze because I don't ever look at the booze counter behind bars and movies.
That's
to
fair.
see what's there.
That's fair. Very fair.
So I know that it's like nudity / implied nudity, but so we're all in agreement that we can see her nipples in the opening part, right?
Yeah. You get to see,
but then
full. You get to see full tits 4 different times in this movie,
and it's all hers.
So I didn't see. I saw it in the first part when she's dancing in the opening credits. But when she gets out of the bathtub,
she gets out of the bathtub. She's in the bathtub under the water.
We can see nipple.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was watching it on my phone. I couldn't see as well.
Which apparently, let me find.
That's okay. It looked like dog shit on my TV through fucking fuck you Prime. Also, I pay for a movie on you. Half the movie looks fucking pixeled out, and
that might be that could either be
that was
copy.
The movie.
Yeah, that could be a bad copy, or it could be your TV isn't. And by bad copy, I mean they've got the highest quality, but the highest quality is like 2 generations back. They haven't. Sure. It hasn't been redone for like Blu-ray or anything, 1080p or higher.
Sure, but regardless,
or your TV sucks.
I had to pay for it. Now my TV's fine, but it works for everything else. Just not not the movies I end up having to pay for on Prime. And also Prime, I have to pay for the movie. Put your fucking X-ray on it, man. I get tired of having to stop the movie to look shit up because you guys are too lazy to do it for me.
Oh yeah,
and I pay
for
that.
Do that for
a lot of stuff.
A lot of the movies.
Yeah, I know it's bullshit.
Do it for the shows constantly. I mean, their own shows, obviously. But,
yeah.
So referring to the bubble bath.
Okay. Look, I'm not gonna.
The X-ray is always a scene behind.
Sure.
It's never on the scene you want. It's always like a scene or 2 behind that, where it's like these aren't even the people that are on screen.
When they had the X-ray feature in the beginning, it was great. Now I think they just don't give 2 shits. Like, oh, the scene starts at 17 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, it's fine. Even though it's 10 seconds late, it's fine.
Anyways, Chuck, sorry.
Okay. Listen, I get it for more popular movies if they don't rate. We're the only 3 morons that would ever watch Barb Wire. They're not gonna put the X-rays on Barb Wire.
When I was looking this up, I had seen that people people are watching it for podcasts here in the last couple of years. So it's really the only ones who are watching it are people who are watching it to either trash talk it, make fun of it. No one has this in their collection.
Somebody has it in their collection.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody has in either their digital or physical collection.
If it was like 10% better, I probably would have it in my collection.
That's fair.
That's fair. Because if it was a little bit better, it'd be one of those movies where you're like, I'd throw this on to just like have it in the background as noise.
Yeah, for a funny laugh.
At a party to make fun of people.
We'll get there.
We're not
get
to that point yet.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
So one last thing I want to say about, since I don't want to get too far away from the bubble bath, but apparently Pamela Anderson insisted on the bubble bath scene being added to the film so that she'd be able to use a perspex bath, the clear thing, for the first time. Unfortunately, such a niche prop was challenging for the runners to source, and in the end, they shot the scene at the city aquarium in the tank that usually house the little seahorses. The soap suds contaminated 5 tanks in total, costing the production over $40,000 in fish-related deaths and replacements.
Wow, way to go, Pam.
She was like a PETA person too. That's wild.
Uh-huh.
Huh. Okay.
Anyway.
That's only for clout, apparently. She didn't care if she killed him for a bubble bath.
Listen, PETA's only for clout, so
I mean, that's 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of clout, guess who got us at least one more listener, possibly 3 this weekend?
That is true. He did.
Here. So shout out to the folks that we were talking to at the train station in Chicago. You guys were a lot of fun.
Was his name
a month ago?
Dan? Was his name Dan? I don't remember.
I think his name was Mike.
Mike? My dude, apologize if I can't get your name right, but thank you if you're listening.
And
M-Dog.
over there.
Shout out to M-Dog.
All right, you learned a new name.
There you go. Yeah, M-Dog. There you go, Chris. I'll forget your name forever now. I can only remember one additional fan at a time.
You'll forget his name for another month. Then when he comes back on for Star Trek 6, you'll remember it.
That's right. He said he wasn't watching 5 with us. See,
Oh,
that worries me. When Chris, who's a fan, doesn't want to watch a movie.
Dude, I'm a fan of the series, of the shows, and I'm telling you, it's a shit movie. I've never finished it.
Yeah, but you watch him in memory of your dead dad, so that's different.
I was watching it before. Well, not like all the time, but like with him from time to time.
Here's the thing.
Anyway.
Are we going to watch it? Yes. Are we, when we watch 6, going to ruthlessly, unadulteratedly, absolutely, to the point where he will cry, rib on him because he didn't show up for 5? Yes, we are. I am. I know I will.
I know he won't cry, but
I'll make him cry.
He won't cry.
I'll give him an emotional.
I know he won't.
Listen, I'll give him an emotional purple nurple. Don't think I won't.
Listen, if
the problem is he's listening now, so he's gonna be prepared.
If anybody,
they'll cut shit out,
can emotionally damage somebody, it's Chuck, because he's been through a lot of it. Shout out to his exes.
Yeah, I don't have a dad, man. Like,
no, you do have a dad. He's just not around. That's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. Mine's emotionally dead. It's kind of the same.
Fair.
You just want me to play this, don't you? I don't want to play it.
Well, would they even be able to hear it?
That's
why I'm not playing it.
I heard the phrasing on this week's.
Yes.
It's all in how I download the audio. Anyway.
Spawn Cape, Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this looked awesome for the 90s, I guess. I don't know. There wasn't a ton of special effects.
Thank God for that.
Like, everything was pretty much practical. I'll be honest. Big Fatso exploding like the whale, kind of like I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was cool. I'm gonna say 14 out of 526. I think it looked great still. The quality of the actual movie sucked on Amazon. So like, because I'm watching it on my phone, it was like they had like smeared the Vaseline. They did the old like soap opera trick where they smeared the Vaseline on the lens
to try to give it a little blurry.
Yeah, some like to cover up everybody looking old. But other than that, like, yeah. Judge Judy does the same thing. You ever seen a Judge Judy episode there lately?
I've seen commercials for it.
I didn't even know she was still alive.
the camera on
She has a new
her
show.
is so fucking crazy filtered, and then it will flip to like the people, like the defendant and the plaintiff, and it's just like high definition, just like crazy. It'll flip back to her, super well lit, gloss, like fuzzed out, like air, like almost like they airbrush her live as like it's wild. I highly recommend looking it up. It is egregious.
Love it. Ron.
So we did have a boob count.
Yep.
I am slightly confused on how to count this because there were two separate occasions where we got to see both of her boobs. However, since we only got to see two boobs and they were the same boobs, do I only count that as two or do I count it as four for each separate occasion?
Well, we've already discussed that. If it's the same boobs throughout the movie, it's one set of boobs.
All right,
That's
so
what's up.
we got two boobs then.
Okay.
It is interesting. Do you think it's written in her contract that only she can be nude? Is it like a Rock can't lose a fight, she can only be nude in her contract?
No, I think on this one in particular, she wanted I don't say popularity of being nude, but like this movie was like, hey, this movie's about me. Let's focus on
Sure,
me.
but some of the dancers she had in the club, I would have rather seen their tits. I know Chuck loves his rock hard 90s.
Oh, I love rock
tits,
hard fake titties.
but
Yeah.
I would have been happy with more than just one set.
Yeah, more the merrier. I'm not upset
Heck,
about
we got what, 3 in Black Scorpion?
Yeah,
But again, that's also a Showtime. That was a Showtime bit.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, but to be
That was
fair,
a
we
whole
also
time.
got a really, really long sexual assault scene in that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that
That's
was very uncomfortably
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to Not a Muppet.
Okay, so my go for Not a Muppet was Boba Fett.
So you can make out with a couple Muppets?
Yeah, first off, he'd be making out with Muppets. Second off, like him getting it to fight a bunch of Muppets would be hilarious because that's kind of what he does in Star Wars too. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I was
gonna say, as long as it wasn't Big Fatso, because I would like to see a Muppet version of him then explode like a whale.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to Willis, because I think that'd be kind of fun. Him feeling up on a Muppet.
that's okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
And then giving a Muppet a grenade.
What about her? Wait, was Willis? Willis wasn't the
Willis
barkeep.
was the cop. No, he was the cop. That
I kind of like the idea of the barkeep.
Curly,
Yeah, Curly. Yeah.
He'd be a good one.
he would be a good one to not be a Muppet.
Yeah.
As long as Charlie is a Muppet, because a blind Muppet would be even funnier than a blind dude.
I mean,
They just don't put the dimples on the
Yeah,
eyes.
exactly.
Yeah.
They have like the straight felt across like without the little black dots in the
Yeah.
Okay.
Or not dimples. What the hell is? What are your eyes called?
pupils.
Thank you, pupils. Thank you. Dude, I'm telling you, like brain is at like
dimples
7% right
dimples
now.
are those things
That's
on your
fine.
cheeks there, Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta watch Last of Us after this still. So yay! That's my Sunday nights for the next 9 weeks.
Oh, did season 2 come out?
Tonight, yeah, at time of recording, yes.
Gotcha. All right. I didn't have any quotes out of context because all of the quotes that were sexual were definitely used sexually in this.
Yeah, 100%.
But Chuck, what do you got for the score there, buddy?
All right, look, if I could get on my soapbox for a minute,
Please do.
I am a Pam Anderson apologist. I think
we see that right there in the name.
Yeah. Like, I think that she got unfairly treated by media in a time and era where it was easy to objectify women, and she just wanted to be famous. And also think, and Tommy Lee also fucked her in more ways than one. But I don't think that this movie is great. I think there was a lot of potential for it to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if it had just gone one way or the other and it didn't do what this was supposed to be, that this actually could have probably done a really, really well. There's enough funny parts in this that I am absolutely putting this on and like making fun of it with my friends. Because it's so ridiculous in all the right places, but it's one of those perfect movies where whether you're watching it or not, you're not going to be able to follow it because
No.
the storyline is so like incoherent that you can just be like, oh yeah, there she is, she's naked again. Why is she making out with him? Oh, that's his wife. Oh, that's but she was way too like fucking chill about the fact that they
Right?
were making out.
But maybe she was playing the long game.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's why
He
he.
likes
That's
rock
why
hard
he went back.
90s kids too.
That's why he went back to go get Barb because he wanted to bring her to Canada to, figure it all out.
Yeah. That being said, I actually I paid attention. I liked this movie. I thought it was fine. And it's
Did you
gonna
say it's
score
perfectly
higher.
fine or just fine?
No, it's fine. Like it's not perfectly fine. No, I can't stamp it. I can't stamp it with the Chuck perfectly fine approval. But wanting to put this on and like make fun of it with my friends who are pretty high, I'm gonna say 5.91.
Okay.
Like I would probably I'm never gonna buy this again, but if somebody else was like, "Hey, have you ever seen this movie?" I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, let's watch it." And then we'll watch Tank Girl.
Somebody somewhere has a burnt copy of this movie that they bought from a dude for $1 at a fucking
At a convention.
100%.
Yeah.
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 All right.
There are
Rob?
dudes that have the poster to this movie signed by Pam Anderson.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that have the collector edition DVDs, though.
Yeah. Maybe.
Also signed by Pam Anderson because she was doing a signing.
I'm sorry, the collector's edition VHS.
That one I can see.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's like releasing this anytime soon.
No, probably
In like a steel case.
with imprinted barbed wire around it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I watched this movie. Charity and Alfie were over, and we had 3 bottles of wine, I think, and it actually made this movie a lot better. I mean, there's some bad parts of this movie, and I realistically, even in a group situation, I probably would not actually watch the movie. I would more be talking to people while they watched it. But it wasn't as bad as some of the movies we've been seeing. And the fact that there were boobs, even if they were rock hard 90s boobs, and the fact that like Big Fats of Exploding was hilarious. The dog like chewing the dude's dick off. Oh, that's where the animal cruelty came in case you were wondering. Because that dog should not have had to put that dude's nasty dick in her mouth.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
But like the dog like being like that's funny. Like dogs that are nichely trained to do things like that are hilarious in movies because it's like who in her position is going to have the time to train a dog like that?
Charlie.
No, the peanut butter. Get the peanut butter. Anyways. But having said that, I gave this a 4.13 because like I said, while it wasn't terrible, it was still like I would watch this again before I would watch any of the Star Wars movies or Star Trek movies we've watched.
That's fair.
Oh,
You know what?
without question, yeah.
Joey?
Okay, so I'm not as nice as you guys. This movie had some good parts. Had some fun parts.
Before you say anything, if the part of Willis was played by William Shatner instead, would this have gotten a higher rating from you?
If Zack Snyder did a reboot of this movie,
asshole.
Sorry, I had to cough.
And then released the Snyder cut that is 7.5 hours long,
where we get 2 hours of that is her at the beginning in the dance and then in the bath.
Yeah.
That actually might have scored higher for me.
I hate you both, just so you know. Anyway, this movie, it's objectively, this is a bad movie. Like, we all know that.
Yeah.
I talked about how the script was terrible. I agree with you, Chuck. The potential is there. they could, if they really want to reboot this and make it better, I think they could. I think they could find some. I mean, I don't want to just say Sydney Sweeney would be the best one, but like she could probably do it and do it a decent job at it. She's a really good actress. But they could really just get any
Who?
Sydney Sweeney. I'm trying to think of the movie you know her from. She was well, you didn't see Madam Web.
Yeah, I
Did
did.
you?
I
She was
watched
one
it
of the.
on like Netflix or something.
Oh, nice. She was one of the girls from Madam Web. I can't remember which one.
The blonde.
Yeah,
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
sure.
Because somebody was talking about her tits. Like,
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
in. I mean, she's in Euphoria. I don't know if you watch Euphoria. Okay.
You would like Euphoria. Well,
Well,
maybe.
hold on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not. I
Yeah.
take that back.
It's not. You don't go into Euphoria like liking people.
Yeah, don't go into Euphoria being Ron. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically a bunch of high school kids.
Yeah.
oh,
Having sex
man.
together. I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta use the air quotes because they're obviously like not high school kids, but
They're all adults pretending to be high school kids. It's weird.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's like Archie.
no worse
Oh.
because they show shit.
Oh,
allegedly.
okay.
I haven't seen it, but again, these are high school kids. So
Air
What-
quotes.
Riverdale.
no, it's not Riverdale.
No, that's what it's like.
But yeah,
that.
that's where that's where
That was the
you're referring
Archie show I was trying to think of. I
to.
couldn't
It's better
remember what it was
written than Riverdale. I guess.
Well, that's like not. That's that's a
I
really
did
low
see,
bar to jump over.
I like Riverdale.
You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna. I really love.
Yeah, what's your
Riverdale.
score?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Off track here. What am I going here? Yeah, so the movie's fine. I agree with that. It's not great. Pam's acting wasn't the greatest. I felt like she was one note the entire time, and that might have been the direction, which doesn't help anything. But even the people around her, like there wasn't really good scenes. Everything was just it happened just so they can advance to the next scene out of convenience. But I will say this is definitely a little bit better than the last couple of movies we watched. It's a little bit better than Black Scorpion. At least it has a little bit of some of the plot, while loose, explains a little bit of what's going on. This is North Star. While I was okay with it, I still felt like it was a lot jammed into one movie. So Barb Wire, I'm giving it a 3.12 because I would watch this over those last two, definitely. But that gives us a combined score of 4.39, which I think is a little high, but that's just me.
That is just you, actually.
Or is it
Literally,
fall,
it's just
though?
me. It is tied at
You freeze?
104. Huh? Who froze?
Oh, you did for a second.
Sorry.
On my end. No, it's
Maybe
okay.
I was staring lovingly at my phone.
Oh no, you had like a weird like looking down face, and then you spinny wheeled.
So it's sorry. So it's tied at 104 out of 148 movies with Flash Gordon from 1980.
Yeah, that tracks.
It is just behind the Toxic Avenger from 1984 with a 4.43.
Oh wow!
No,
And
just behind it.
Just behind it. So
I
Toxic
know.
Avenger is above it.
Toxie beat her out.
And
I know. I think I kind of like this better. Anyway. go
Oh
ahead.
wow, really? It's just above Batman the movie from 1966, which I like that one better for the campiness.
Oh yeah. All right. I mean, it's in good company. Those, I would say, they all collectively have the same level of like. I would put this on to make fun of it with my friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's interesting.
But we can officially say this is not as bad as what people online say.
Yeah,
You know?
this gets a lot of hate for no reason.
I agree.
Like,
with
it
that.
was-
like I mean,
it
it's
was-
not a great
it was
movie. But it's not like this like dumpster fire of a fucking shit wheel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Catwoman.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, 100%. It's not Catwoman. It is. I fear the day, though, that Catwoman will start, like, the people will start being like, Catwoman really wasn't that bad.
Dude, I know we're gonna get that probably in like 20 years.
No, I doubt it. See, I don't think we will because
I don't know. People are already trying to say that about Madam Web and Morbius and
look,
Craven.
Madam Web had some good points in it. Like there was. I would watch Madam Web again before I would ever watch Catwoman again.
Yeah, same.
I would actually watch Morbius again over watching
Morbius
Catwoman.
actually wasn't that bad.
Morbius was just a dumb premise for the character. Of course, I just recently watched Craven, and also what are they trying to do? Make Spider-Man's rogues gallery like, oh, they're not so bad, they're just misunderstood.
Yeah, because they couldn't use Spider-Man because of whatever contract they had with Marvel, so they were using his.
Then why not make them the villains of a movie and make that like the movie about their villain arc instead of like their heroes that are now villains because of one bad thing that happened?
But they're also the movies that they were making, because as far as I know, they've only got the third Spider-Verse movie and Spider-Man Noir, which is an Amazon show. Those are the only things that Spider-related products that Sony's putting out. Everything else, they've either stopped. Like there was a Spider-Woman movie that they're going to make. That's been canned. I think Silver Sable. Basically, they were grabbing the characters that were kind of sort of on that line. You know, they're not straight villains like your
Craven is a straight villain.
But is he?
Yes.
Recently, he's had a turn to being more of the anti-hero.
Really?
I think. I don't know.
Movie?
Probably.
Because
I don't read comics.
They could have went with Sandman.
He was a good guy. He was a half good guy. He was a tweener in the animated series.
No, he wasn't. Craven was a piece of shit bad guy.
In the 90s?
Yeah.
No, he ends up healing Man Spider.
Was it?
No, he's hunting Man Spider.
But then he ends up helping him because then him and Punisher team up.
Morbius helps Spider-Man because Morbius is not bad guy.
Yeah, it's like the triad. It's which is wild. Punisher, Craven, and Morbius have to help Man Spider.
I don't think Craven does.
He's the one who has to hunt. He's the one who hunts to track him down.
He hunts him because he's trying to kill him.
No, he's not trying. I just watched it recently.
Did you? Coming up on a new small screen rundown, we're gonna go watch the Spider-Man animated series.
The entire 60 episodes, and
you know what? I haven't seen that show in forever.
I know. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it anyways because I haven't watched it since I was a kid, but apparently I'm misremembering.
I need to finish the X-Men one. So I can finally watch X-Men 97.
Oh my god, dude, get on your shit.
I'm a busy man.
I'll be honest, like we all look back at that with nostalgia, like way too hard.
Dude, the first season is rough, man. Like I could not. Like I
watched it with Simon, and it was fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, sure, like you got member berries.
It's like it's good. It's fine. I'll be honest. Some of the animations kind of kill me.
Okay,
like,
yes, that is true.
Everyone is just like so muscular, but like it looks awkward.
Well, do you not remember the comics in the 90s?
No, I know, but like it's not scaled proportionately correct, and also they don't know how to do animation of people moving at that size. Like I look back at the Spider-Man one, and everyone is hunched over because they don't know how to like make animation look good. It's weird. And they just constantly reuse scenes.
Yeah,
because they don't want to redraw.
That is true. They definitely do the lazy thing and just reuse a lot of it. Chuck, where can they find you?
Hey, you can find me on the internet, Kicked Out of the Hood, No Eating Kicked. You can find my hobby page. Look, at time of release, War Machine's back, baby. Steamforge Games has finally re-released it. They updated it. I'm getting back into it. War Machine was the game that I got back into that got me back into miniature wargaming after a long hiatus. And also, I have an egregious amount of Judge Dredd miniature game from Warlord Games that I'll be pumping out as well if I ever get to be home long enough to work on stuff. And you can check out my Necromunda gang that I'm building, where every model has some type of conversion to it. For my Goliath guys, which are just big, meaty dudes taking steroids and pumping drugs into their bodies, and it's fucking awesome. They're the best. So you can find me over at Kicked Out of the Hobby, No Eating Kicks, and most importantly, every last Sunday of the month, you can find me and Joe doing Getting Franchised, our once a month show based around the latest and greatest and movie franchises. The first whole season, we're doing horror stuff. So check it out. Hey, not only check it out, but rate this show and then share it to people. The easiest way to get shit out there is to share it to people. Physically send them links. Okay, that's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Ronald, where can I find you?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Good at This Game. You can find my art on Instagram at Good Art This Game, and also right there on Chuck's chest, and over at TeePublic and Redbubble, where we have our merch, and right here on this podcast, and where you can find this podcast. Joey?
You guys can find the show over on the socials, Comic Rundown. Eventually I'll get back to actually posting on there, maybe.
He said that for the last 3 months.
Yeah,
I gotta keep saying I gotta keep moving the goalpost. I'm like a really good cult leader. Just keep moving the goalpost.
What you should all know is that he is still active because he still sends reels to the boys chat.
Yes, he
so,
will definitely.
He's on there.
He'll definitely see it if you say something or comment on something. He's just not posting our stuff up there so people see it.
I will probably do just a dump of like the last 4 months of stuff in like one day.
I love it. That's perfect.
Be prepared for that.
You might not know this, Ron, but he has a week off coming up, so like he's gonna get so much done. I think that's what he said last time.
That's what he said, and then he's gonna end up being like, "Man, I watched 45 movies and played through the entire Last of Us series." And
no, I actually have to. We're getting mulched the Thursday before, so I'm mulching the first couple days.
So Monday and Tuesday, he's going to be mulching the yard, and the rest of the week he's going to be dead.
Yeah,
so, which will give me time to actually upload stuff.
He's not gonna upload anything. Yeah, he won't upload anything. Ron, if you have a shirt, forget it. It's never going to be released ever again.
That's bullshit. You are wearing the new one. I actually did that one on time.
That one out before he was supposed to.
Yeah,
so that's true.
I will give him props on that one.
You can email us, comicrundown@gmail.com. Rate and review us on any podcatcher, anything. We're also on YouTube. You can rate and review us there. Like this guy, J Dean 5724. So which episode was this one? You know what? For the Mask episode. He says, when Harry met Lloyd, I thought was pretty great. I think it's better than Dumber and Dumber 2. I think it's Dumb and Dumber 2. I just revisited The Mask today. Haven't seen it properly since the theater. Found it free on Tubi. It was cool seeing it again, enough where I decided to listen to a podcast on it. Thank you for choosing ours. You three are awesome. Going to check out more of your podcasts. Probably going to roll right into The Shadow episode right after this.
Oh, well, what was his name?
J Dean 5724.
J Dean
5724. Shout out,
or just J Dean. I mean, you can say J Dean.
Shout out to you. Welcome to the following. Welcome to the family. I will try to remember your name for future reference.
Welcome to the ones of 10.
I've already forgotten that guy that's usually on the show at this point now. Look at that.
That's Joey. He's the host.
We also have another one I just saw. This came in with our Power Rangers episode that just went up at the time of recording a couple days ago. So I actually will respond to him on YouTube as well. But this is Mutant X 2372. The Disney seasons filmed in New Zealand, not Australia.
It's
So,
the same thing. It's
I mean-
like we live in the States. It's the same thing. You
The what?
Kiwis.
The Disney seasons,
Of what?
Power Rangers.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I made a comment saying
He
that
says Australia.
the
Yeah.
Disney
Oh,
era
yeah.
filmed in Australia.
So it turns
I
out
apologize. So thank you.
anything that's down in that area is Australia, whether it's Tasmania or New Zealand or New Guinea or.
So I'm
Yeah,
not going
I
to say
don't-
that because I don't.
Yeah,
want to
I
get
don't
yelled
think
at.
they get.
No,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
just
think they
saying
get
that's-
mad about it. They don't get mad about it when you can just call it all
That'd be like
Australia.
me saying you guys don't know where Indiana's at in the United
Chuck
States.
doesn't know where Indiana's at.
It's not a real state. You guys live in Illinois. I don't understand what the issue is here.
We lived in Illinois. We would have took a 2-hour drive and a 2-hour
Plane.
what you call it, train
or
ride
train, yeah.
to Chicago. Anyway,
Listen, Illinois is really big.
No, now
No,
you're
that's
thinking of
Texas.
Ohio.
well,
No,
Or
I know
Pennsylvania.
Ohio. Trust me. I stay away from Ohio if I can. I'll go around Ohio. But
anyway, so yeah, we've got merch over on Redbubble and TeePublic.
yeah.
I've been doing, the comic rundown has been back. The actual comic coverage is back. I'm taking a little break again, maybe. I mean, I say that, but I do have a week coming off. So coming up,
You
a
did
week
2
off
books
coming up.
and you're like, yeah,
I did
we're going to
3,
take a break.
sir. I did 3.
Indefinite hiatus.
No, actually, I was thinking, and so I don't know if it came out because we're recording this before I've posted it. Because I've got that week off coming up, like maybe I'll go back and do some notes and make something up. We'll see. Either way, there are some comics up on the podcast feed. If you go check out that, like I said, we talk about merch, and our song was
done by the former Cam Dr. Father.
that works too. But alrighty, sirs.
Next movie, bud.
Our next movie, this one is I really enjoy it. This is some member berries for me. I'll try to play this along, string this along, see if you guys can figure it out.
Just tell us the goddamn movie, Joey.
There was a sequel that came out,
I don't
to
have
this
the
movie.
brain capacity for this right now.
but it was a sequel. It was a made-for-TV sequel movie that was on Sci-Fi. Nothing cool.
Man
So,
thing?
The movie, no, but that is on our list. The movie we're watching is The Phantom from 1996.
Hell yeah! I haven't seen this movie since like 1998.
Really?
This is Antonio Banderas?
No, this is
No.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. Yep.
Oh, okay. Why
Yeah.
did I think Antonio Banderas is in this one?
The Mask. You're thinking of The Mask. No,
That's
Mask
all
of Zorro. Sorry.
Messerzero. Yeah,
Which
okay.
is also on our list.
The only thing that I know about the Phantom, is that he has a ring that permanently tattoos your head or whatever. He's purple. And Rey Mysterio did a costume of him for Halloween Havoc 97 in one of the greatest matches of all time against Eddie Guerrero. Those are the only 3 things that I know about the Phantom.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Be really interested to see what you think of the movie then.
I know that one of the bad guys in it is the shitty Raiden that was also the leader of the guys at the beginning of Judge Dredd. The bad guys that are in the thing where he's like, "Be afraid of something, be afraid of me." He's one of the bad guys in the Phantom.
I'm trying to remember. Was he actually Raiden?
He was Raiden in the second.
I think we might be confusing Raidens. We'll have to check because
He also rides a white horse at some point. I remember that very distinctly sticking out.
The shadows or the Phantom's horse is white. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, alrighty, that's what we got.
Why did you guys grade Flash Gordon so fucking low? I
'Cause
love
it
that
sucked.
movie. I love that movie.
We actually enjoyed the animated movie more than the live action.
Speaking of animated movies, when are we watching Scooby Doo?
There you go, dude. He's in Mortal Kombat 2, Annihilation. See?
I already said